Okay. That's funny. Just started the video. All right. We're looking at tax and finding the total amount you pay, including tax. So commission and total with tax is what we're looking at today. So finding commission is no different than finding tax or tip. Commission is the amount of money you make when you sell something. So there used to be an electronics store called Circuit City where they would make a commission on their sales. What that meant was for every item you sold, you earned a certain percentage of that sale. A lot of in-home, like quick fix diets or herbal supplements or essential oils, these Facebook pop-up stores, LuLaRoe, right? All that stuff. Those are sold on commission. It means that if you sell more items, you make more money. You make a percentage of your sales. So that was warm up letter A. That car salesman sold a car for $25,000. How much money did he make? Ashley, do you remember? $1,250. Now, a 5% commission is pretty high. But, I knew a guy who made a 4% commission. So what that is, commission is when you earn money based off of your sales. Okay? So this is what we're going to look at. We want to find the commission on a $120,000 sale with a commission rate of 3.5%. Anybody got an idea of what this might be? Of what you might have sold for $120,000? What you might have sold? Maybe a super duper, maybe a Lamborghini. Why couldn't it be a house? No, there are some double wides that are like that, or some what we call prefabricated homes that are like that. They come in two halves and you put them together. There are a lot of those in my hometown. My girlfriend Jenna lived in one. A what? A wedding ring? Probably not. That would be a little too expensive. Maybe the crown jewels. It's most likely a house. Or an RV. Probably a house or an RV. So, percent commission, here we go. So what do these things mean? P does not mean percent. P means percent commission. W means the total sales, which in essence isn't actually the total sales. It's actually how much you sell, right? It's kind of like the bill. Hey guys, can you whisper, please? Thank you. We need to make sure that W is kind of like that total. It's the amount you sell. And then if P is percent of commission, A is the amount of commission. So let's solve this problem. So let's set it up. A equals P times W. A equals P times W. So, if you're a proportion person, you would have said if you're a proportion. What's A? Do we know it? No. Find the commission, right? Find the commission. That's A. So we don't know A. What's P?
3.5.
It's not 3.5. Why? It's not 3.5. Why?
0.5%.
0.5%. Kobe, calm down, buddy. It's not 3.5, it's 0.035. You can always raise your hand. And then what are we multiplying by? What's W going to be? 120,000. Calculators at the ready. Saeed's going to give us our answer in 3, 2, 1, go. $4,200. Seems like a pretty good deal, right? You sell a house, you make $4,200. How many houses do you think a realtor sells in a month? Probably 2, maybe 3, maybe. If you have a good month, you're selling more than that. But remember, a realtor is putting in a lot of time to sell your one house. A lot of time, a lot of effort, so it's a pretty decent payoff, right? Most realtors make about 3% commission. Most realtors make a 3.5% commission.
If they don't sell a house, do they not get paid?
Yep. If you don't sell a house, you don't get paid. So, as a realtor, you want to sell houses, right? That's your goal. You want to sell, sell, sell. So there are different schools of thought. You could try to sell a bunch of small houses, or you could sell one big house. That kind of thing. Try to make different money. Okay? Now I forgot to fix that. All right. So now what we want to do is we're going to find the total earnings. So we want to find a salary plus a commission. Anybody know what a salary is?
How much they make yearly?
How much you make a year, or how much you make a month. It's how much you get paid no matter what. So Stephen asked, if they don't sell a house, do they get paid? Typically no. However, some people have a salary and then a commission on top of that. So my buddy who works for, what is it? It's not Covance anymore. There's an insulin company in Fishers. Roche. He works for Roche. He gets paid a salary, but if he sells a certain amount, he starts to make a commission on his sales. So he gets paid what's called a base salary. So it's what you're going to make no matter what, right? It's what you're guaranteed to make. But if you sell more, if you keep selling more, you might also get a commission. So you might earn a percentage of your sales. Yeah? Yep, that's how I am as well. So I'm on a salary. Yeah. A lot of times people who are on a salary get what's called PTO, paid time off. That's their vacation days, their sick days, etc. So an hourly worker, let's say like a fast food worker or a delivery guy like we talked about yesterday, if they don't go to work, they don't get paid, right? Because they get paid hourly. Salary workers, if they take a sick day, they still get paid. Now, some hourly jobs have paid time off, but just the general rule is hourlies, if you don't go to work, you don't get paid. Salary, you get paid no matter what. So here is an example of a salary plus a commission. So, car salesman receives a salary of $650 each week, plus a 2% commission on all sales. If he sold a $30,000 car, how much does he earn that week? So the first thing I need to do is I want to find my commission first, okay? So let's look for that commission. Here's my P. This is my W. What am I going to do with this 650? I'm going to add it in later. I'm going to add it in at the end. So let's find our commission, right? A equals P times W. I don't know the amount because A is the amount of commission. P is the percent of commission. All right. Percent of commission is 2%, which is not 2, but 0.02 times 30,000. How much does he make in commission? What was it? 600 bucks. We got one. Going once, going twice. Sold. All right, so 600 bucks. So 600 bucks commission. Now I'm going to find his total earnings for that week. What should I do?
Add 650 plus 600.
Yeah, just add the 650, which is his salary. Oops, that's supposed to be a 6. 650 plus 600. So how much does he bring home that week, Anna?
$1,250.
1,250 bucks. A lot of times jobs that have a salary and a commission are nice because you're going to get paid no matter what, but then if you work really hard, you get paid more. It's a really good way to motivate people, right? You know, work harder, sell more stuff, you get paid more. But you also have job security because you know that you're going to go home with a paycheck even if you don't get that car sold, right? So it decreases stress, it decreases, burnout. Okay? Questions on these two? Those are the only two we're going to do on commission. All right, I got to click through. I forgot to delete those. If you're a commission person and you did the proportion, this is what your proportion would have looked like if you're a proportion person. You have figured out that it was 600 by setting up your proportion. Remember, I said that you can do proportions. I don't care, but I'm just not going to teach. I'm not going to go through those steps. And then you still add them at the end. Okay. Questions? Is that really any different than tax or tip? It is almost exactly the same thing, right? That's why we teach them together. Now, here comes the difference. I want to find the total amount I'm going to pay, including tax. But I want to find it faster. You guys remember how we did it before? We found the tax, then did what? Then added it in. But we have a faster way. Instead of P being the percent of tax, P is now the total percent, including tax. What percent of your bill is your bill? What percent will you pay of your bill? All of it. So what percent of your bill is your bill? 100%, right? Then what percent is tax, let's say in Indiana? So what percent is your total, including the tax? 107%. Remember that warm-up problem we did, letter C? That's what we're doing. We take our total percent, which is what? What's our total percent? 100%. Include the tax in there by adding the percents, and now we can go straight from our bill to our total with tax. It makes it so we don't have to add amounts. It makes it so we can add percents. Okay? You okay? You okay? You look sleepy. W is our original price, right? That's the price of the bill, the price the thing costs. And A would be the total amount, including tax. Right? Will you write that in there? Including tax. How do we do it? Okay? How do we do it? Instead of finding the amount of tax, then adding it to the purchase price, we're going to add what? We're going to add the, circle that word. We're going to add the percents. So what we're going to do is we're going to add the tax percent to 100%. Because 100% is your bill, right? That's how much your bill is. It's 100% of your bill. Let me click that. There we go. So, for example, we're going to take our 100% and add in a tax rate to get our total rate, including tax. You with me so far? It's a little confusing, but we're going to get there. Okay? Now, what we'll do is you'll plug in your A or your W, whichever you're given, and solve for what's missing. Okay? So let's do this problem. Hey, there's Austin again, buying his Madden. Again. Huh. Do you know the answer to this?
Yeah.
Flip back over to the other side, find out what the answer is. Good. So what we did last time, if you look at your steps, is we found tax. Then we added it in. We're not going to do that this time. We're going to find the total amount, including the tax. So just because these are notes, will you tell me what the total percent is? What's our total percent going to be? Our total percent including tax. 107%. Why? Because that's tax, right? That's tax. So is 100% plus 7%. So, all right, these are notes. So we're writing a note to ourselves. If A is the total that I'm trying to find, P is not percent of tax anymore. If A is the total amount, what's P? It's the total percent, which is what percent? 107. Can you guys write that as a decimal? If you're a proportion person, you would just write 107. If you're an equation person, what would we write down?
A equals 107.
Why are we not putting 0.07 anymore?
Because it's over 100%.
Yeah, we are increasing the value by putting the tax in first. This is what we call, in our biz, the shortcut method. It's faster. You'd only have to do one step. Add the tax in before you multiply. Don't add the amounts, add the percents. They're way faster. Right? What's 100 plus any tax? Well, it's super easy. It's just 100 in that value. Times 39.9. Go ahead and give us our value. What is it? I want you to practice this. Enter it in the calculator. Don't sit there and let me tell you the answer. That's lazy. Be active. Be engaged.
42.69.
It's not 6.9. 7893, right? Which means
How you 7, 8,
you multiply 1.07 times 39.99.
Yeah, then I got 40. 40.
What'd you get?
I got 40. Hold on. Let me do it one time. Yeah, I got 42.693.
You're entering a wrong number in.
Please, man, what is this? 1.7
Check it with Matt.
times 39.99.
39.9. Hey, that's okay. That's what we had to figure out, right? You get something wrong and you fix it. It's a learning opportunity, right? That's what I said earlier. So same answer as last time, but here we don't have to add. We don't have to add at the end. What did we do? We added percents. It's way faster. Way faster. So if you know we've got a 7% tax, stop multiplying by 7%.
Stop it.
Yeah. Start multiplying by 1.07. Why? It's faster. It's easier. Right? Here's what your proportion would look like if you're a proportion person. If you're a proportion person, if you did it using proportions, this is what your work would look like. You'd set it up the exact same way, but instead of 7 up here, right, because we're not finding tax, what are we finding? The total with tax. So we take the total percent plus the tax percent, and we get the total with tax. Because how much of the bill is the bill?
100%.
100%. How much of the tax?
7%.
So how much would the total be with the tax? 107%. Okay. All right, you guys remember this problem from before?
Yeah, it's Olive Garden.
Remember that Olive Garden problem? It was long. There's 4 steps. We know the answers. This time with this Olive Garden problem, we're going to go fast through this one. It's only 2 steps. We need to find we tip on the after-tax amount, so we need to find the tax amount first. So we want to find the amount with tax. What's our percentage going to be? 107%. Are we going to write 107 if you're using the equation?
No.
What are you going to write? 1.07 times $40.50, and we get A with tax. We don't want to round in the middle of the problem. What do you get?
43.33.
Good. Let's not round that. So that way we can just watch this. Don't click clear on your calculator, please. Don't click clear. Trust me. So that's the amount with tax. What do I need to find now?
The 10.
Good. So my new amount with tip. What's my tip going to be? 100 plus 15 equals 115%. So what number am I going to put?
1.15.
Times 43.335. Hey, remember when I told you not to clear your calculator? Why?
So we can do that one too.
This number is already in your calculator. What should I do now? Say times the tip. 1.15.
Oh, 53 point.
No.
49.33.
You already know the answer. We have the answer on the other side.
Oh. It's 49.
49.835, etc. So 49.84.
I got it.
So the process is multiply by the percents, but include the percents with the 100%. Hey, pay attention. You're losing focus and you're losing knowledge. Okay. So instead of doing 7%, then adding it in, because here's the deal. I'm going to tell you right now. You will not be able to use that method backwards. You can't. It's not possible. So if I tell you what the end amount is, and I ask you to find the tax, you can't, unless you use this method. This is the method you need to use. It's faster, it's more efficient, and we need to learn it. Okay? So get back engaged. To find, why is it 1.07? Because it's a 7% tax on the total amount. The total amount is how many percents? 100%. And you tax it, put that 7% in there. Look at this. Why did I have you leave it in the calculator? Because all we're going to do is what? Multiply times 1.15. It's just it's 3 buttons, right? It's three combinations. It's multiply this, then multiply times that. Boom, and you're done. It's 3 numbers, isn't it? 2 multiplications, 3 numbers. Now, because these are notes, we want to write it out. 3 numbers. The starting price, the amount with tax, the amount with tip. You can get our answer. Now, what if we needed to find how much of the tip we're going to get, though? What percent would we multiply by? Would we multiply by 1.15 if we want to find the tip? This is why I told you that A and P are very closely related. If I want to find the amount of tip, what percent am I going to multiply by? 15%. Not 115%. Why? Because this is the total with tip. If I want to find the amount of tip, what percent should I multiply? The percent of tip. The amount of tip, percent of tip. Whereas this is the amount with the tip, this is the percent with the tip. They're totaled together. Okay? Now we got to get one more problem where we're working backwards. Okay? One more problem where we're working backwards. In a clothing store, you were charged, it's supposed to be a were, you were charged $38.51 for a hoodie when the original price was $35.48. Why would that happen? You gotta pay tax, right? Which state are you in? How can we figure that out? Well, let's set up our equation. Remember when I told you you can't use the addition method? You can't use the addition method here. Why? You don't even know the tax rate. You can't add the tax in, you don't even know what the rate is. You can't. You have to use the method where you combine the tax rate with 100%. You have to. It's the only way to do this problem. Okay, so the amount with tax. Let's try that again because it won't let me write there. Ugh. You see what's happening? I'm trying to write over and over again, it's not doing any writing. It's very frustrating. The amount with tax, there we go, equals the percent with tax times W. A and P are the exact same thing. They're talking about the same stuff. Do I know the amount with tax?
Yeah.
I do. What is it? 38.51. Do I know the percent with tax? No, that's our variable. Because I have to find the percent so I can know what state I'm in. What's the original price? 48. So I need to get P by itself. How am I going to do it?
That's like a variable.
So the fast way actually to say that would be divide both sides by 35.48. That would be the fast way to say that. So use your calculator. What do you get?
Oh,
Yeah, it's a little frustrating, isn't it? What is it? It's 1 point what?
0.854002.
But that's not a percent, is it? We need percents, don't we? Convert that to a percent. What do you get?
108.54.
8.54%. So which state am I in?
You're not in the state.
I am in the state.
You're in the country.
What is the tax percent? But Mr. Strand, I have 108%. Hey, remember what 100 plus 15.2% is? Remember how we found the tax rate? So which state am I in?
California.
California. Why?
Because California is 8.54%.
Because we have 8.54% is the tax rate. This is the percent including the tax. The tax is 8.54%. There it is. Because how do we find the tax rate? It's 100% plus the tax. Okay? Your homework is what you picked up.